Are you sitting down? No, I'm standing like a grown man.
Difficulty speaking.
You guys fired up? Yes!
Greetings, my friend.
It's sending me something.
Could be a bomb. Is it a bomb?
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnic Vogon Jeffs, and in this video I'm talking about the 2026 Amazon MGM sci-fi comedy, Project Hail Mary. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and written by Drew Goddard, Project Hail Mary is an adaptation of the 2021 novel of the same name by Andy Weir. It stars Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, James Ortiz, and Lionel Boyce. Hey yo, Boyce! Now I'm warning you, if you're watching this video because you need someone to affirm your bias that this is either a flawless movie or an awful movie, well, keep scrolling, pal. If you're subscribed to the channel and you're thinking, man, if PVJ doesn't love and or hate this movie, I'm gonna unsub so fast. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Let me save you the trouble. Unsubscribe. However, if you enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like or subscribing. I make educational roast reviews that are sometimes informative, sometimes funny, and sometimes neither. If you really like the channel, you can become a member. And if you really hate the channel, fuck you! Psst, hey you! Don't forget to keep your ears peeled for the secret word. When you hear it, I want you to scream at the top of your lungs for no fucking reason whatsoever. Okay? Cool. The secret word is hypocrite. All right. Ryland Grace awakes from a coma aboard the Hail Mary, an interstellar spaceship. He's been under so long that his physical and mental capabilities have been severely hindered. The ship's AI immediately begins to prod the discombobulated astronaut.
What is 2 + 2? Incorrect.
You know, this being an Amazon movie, I half expected him to say 5. Grace manages to pull himself together and climb out of the ship's bedroom? Coma chamber? Yeah, whatever it's called. On his way out, he discovers that the other 2 members of his 3-person crew are dead, and, hold on a second, wait a minute. How exactly was this setup going to work? We just saw Grace fall out of bed. Could you imagine if he was on the top bunk? Wake up from being asleep for more than a decade and plummet 30 feet? If Grace's fellow crew members hadn't died during the trip, they probably would have died getting out of bed. Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. The confused astronaut stumbles through the ship, suffering from selective amnesia that conveniently doesn't affect his ability to operate the Hail Mary's systems.
That's really far.
He realizes that he's over 11 light years from Earth and is currently traveling through the Tau Ceti system. Grace begins having a mental breakdown and flashes back to a time before his space mission. Okay, it's not that hard to say, I'm just retarded. It's through these flashbacks that we discover Grace was a middle school science teacher, and that Earth was facing a potential threat.
Are they really eating the sun? The space knots?
That is a great question. 2 years ago, a radio telescope enthusiast named Irina Petrova, she noticed that there was a streak of infrared light from the sun to Venus. And that is now known as the Petrova line. That's it.
So no big whoop.
It's a small whoop. It's a small to medium whoop.
We're all gonna die! Yeah, that's true.
Grace's class loses their collective minds, and we travel back to the future to watch the former middle school teacher get drunk while trying to jog his memory. Back in the past, Grace is visited by Eva Stratt, the head of the Petrova task force. She's interested in Grace's pre-middle school teacher research, his controversial position that water might not be the be-all and end-all of life in the universe. You see, he's got a doctorate in molecular biology, and Stratt needs his help because...
Sun's really dying, isn't it?
Yeah. Stratt takes Grace to a lab to study astrophage, a substance gathered from the Petrova line. This stuff was spreading across the surface of the sun, dimming it to such an extent that it would eventually create catastrophic cooling on Earth. And even though it took
Like 200 years to figure out how bacteria work, so...
Please do it faster.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I guess we can have Grace determine the astrophage is a single-celled organism that's made up almost entirely of water in, oh, I don't know, let's say an afternoon.
It's a cell.
It's a cell. Wake up! It's a cell!
Oh, and the astrophage travel by farting.
The light is how they move.
Yeah, they consume the sun's energy and then they expel it for propulsion. They toot to scoot, basically.
Just like me! Despite some unflattering self-doubt, Grace wants to help. Strat leaves him with a small sample of the astrophage, and Carl, who apparently has decided to take a break from making kick-ass desserts in Chicago to help save the world. Grace and Carl hit up a big box store for supplies and then run some experiments that result in them discovering how the astrophage breed.
What?
We figured out how astrophage breeds.
Which is phenomenally convenient. You see, pretty much every star has been affected by the astrophage.
There is a clear pattern of infection. Every star was infected by its neighbor.
They're all dying, all except one.
Tau Ceti?
Tau Ceti, that's right, 11.9 light years away.
No one knows why, which is why Strat and her Petrova task force have built a ship to go there and find out. A ship that is completely useless without astrophage fuel, without a reliable method of reproducing the astrophage. You know, that thing that Grace just figured out how to do? And yeah, we're going to completely gloss over the fact that this version of Earth knows how to build a spaceship that can travel at near light speed. And it's a one-way ticket. The astronauts who travel to Tau Ceti won't be coming back.
Any other plans you've thought of? Anything else? Any else you're kicking around?
Back on the Hail Mary, Grace performs a space burial for the ship's pilot and engineer before reaching Tau Ceti orbit. He confirms that the star does indeed have a Petrova line like every other star, but is, for one reason or another, not dimming. During his initial investigation, Grace spots another ship, an alien spacecraft. He tries to give it the slip, but the alien craft mirrors his every move. It sends a small package towards the Hail Mary, and Grace, within a matter of minutes, figures out how to spacewalk in order to catch the mysterious alien gift. It's a map!
You're a long way from home.
There's some back and forth communication between the two ships, and eventually the alien craft constructs a tunnel and docks with the Hail Mary. Grace apprehensively traverses the alien tunnel and communicates with a strange rock-like creature. It convinces its human visitor to return to his ship.
But I just got here.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
So they can mutually engage in some centrifugal gravity. Once engaged, Grace returns to visit with the strange rock spider. After a bit of pantomime, the two astronauts begin a lengthy attempt at communication.
Bum, 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 bum.
Nice, gotta love a Close Encounters reference. The rock spider gives Grace another gift, one that symbolizes oxygen.
O2.
Now, I know he has an entire planet depending on him to not do something incredibly stupid, but yeah, trusting an alien rock monster is probably a good move. So he takes off his helmet because we can't have Ryan Gosling wearing a helmet for more than a few minutes or all of the vaginas in the universe will dry up. And we also can't have these two communicating via awkward hand gestures for the rest of the movie.
Your version of this is our thumbs up. That's thumbs down. It's close enough.
So Grace spends the next 10 minutes using a laptop to decipher an alien language. Yeah, he names his new friend Rocky.
Because you look like a giant rock. Oh.
And they tell each other about their dead crewmates. It turns out that Rocky is investigating Tau Ceti for the same reason as Grace, and coincidentally, his fellow crew members are also dead. I'm not really sure how time works in this movie. I mean, maybe it's been a couple of days, maybe it's been a couple of months. Who fucking knows? Grace eventually transcribes Rocky's entire language and gives him a voice.
Why is a school teacher in space?
That's not bad.
I like.
All right.
Speaking of time, back we go to visit with Grace and Strat as they demonstrate the power of the astrophage to the crew of the Hail Mary, which at the time did not include our protagonist. We zip back to the future once again with a reminder that Grace is still suffering from some mild selective amnesia. He remembers that he didn't initially have the courage to undertake the mission, but that there's likely someone he was willing to die for.
I don't have the bravery gene that you all have. Trust me.
It's not a gene. You just need to find someone to be brave for.
Huh. I wonder who that could be. Impatient and anxious to save his home planet of Arid, Rocky shows up at the Hail Mary, eager to get to work.
Hi, Grace.
You're in a ball.
So Rocky no die in Grace atmosphere. I come up.
Oh, you're coming.
And yeah, I mean, I guess Grace has uploaded all of the translation data to the Hail Mary because now Rocky is just straight up talking no matter where he goes. No laptop required. Anyway, they figure out a plan.
We're going to orbit the planet where astrophage breeds.
The planet connected to Tau Ceti via this system's Petrova line.
Collect a sample and figure out why it's not eating Tau Ceti.
Simples. The two astronauts bond while watching Rocky movies and singing karaoke songs.
I say neither, you say.
Me either.
No.
Rocky tells Grace about his lover, wife, significant other, Rock. And Grace recalls a personal moment he spent with Strat. They talk about God and whatnot, and the conversation stirs something in Strat that prompts her to join her team for some impressive but inherently depressing karaoke.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the time.
Back on the Hail Mary, Grace and Rocky collect astrophage samples from the Petrova line. They name the planet after Rocky's mate, like Grace's friend Rocky, but also Rocky from Rocky. Know what I mean? Adrian is what I'm trying to say. They name the planet Adrian!
It's beautiful.
Grace and Rocky study the astrophage samples they collected and figure out that the reason Tau Ceti isn't being affected in the same way as every other star is because
There's life on Adrian.
there's bacteria on Adrian, the planet, not Rocky's wife. There's bacteria that is acting as a predator, killing the astrophage as it multiplies. The boys come up with a new plan.
We get very close to Adrian atmosphere and lower collector into clouds with chain.
It's like fishing. They're basically going to get super close to Adrian, drop a 5-kilometer collector to gather the bacteria, and hope that their navigation skills are precise enough to not result in their deaths.
Even though Grace still have no pilot experience.
I've been practicing, haven't I?
Now, I know what you're thinking. Grace is a molecular biologist. He's not Data or Geordie LaForge. Hell, he's not even Wesley Crusher.
I'm like one of the villains in the Superman movie. I'm just, like, trapped in hell.
How is he going to fly this bird without crashing into Adrian's atmosphere? Well, Rocky's going to help teach him. That's how. And I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed there wasn't some Eye of the Tiger montage here. But I digress. As they prepare to execute their plan, Rocky learns that Grace can't return home after the mission.
This is a one-way ticket for me, pal.
What?
He's distraught by the idea of his new friend dying and offers to transfer some of his ship's fuel to the Hail Mary.
Grace go home.
It'll extend Rocky's trip home by another 6 years, but he's willing to do it for his friend. Grace is overcome with emotion, relieved that he's not going to die alone in the vast emptiness of space. He teaches his friend how to hug in an awkward and heartfelt moment, before we zip back to see a Petrova Task Force rocket New Glenn itself out of existence. And back to the Hail Mary as Grace pilots the ship into position above Adrian. The bacteria collector is released and Grace exits the ship to gather the samples. The ship begins to fall apart as it descends into Adrian's atmosphere, and Grace is struck by a large piece of debris. After a few tense moments, he manages to return inside with the bacteria collector. They blast their way out of Adrian's gravitational pull.
Did we do it?
Or so they thought. A hull breach in one of the fuel tanks sends the Hail Mary spinning, threatening to tear the ship apart. Grace manages to eject the breached tank. Grace manages to eject the breached tank, but it causes a chaotic jolt that sends him face first into the control console. In order to save the ship and the mission, Rocky exits his bubble and risks his life to re-engage the centrifugal... Holy fuck. To re-engage the centrifugal gravity system. He then pulls Grace to safety and fade to black.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
So it turns out that the whole rocket exploding thing was a measuring mistake.
A measuring mistake killed my entire science team.
Something about someone mixing up nanograms for milligrams. But yeah, the explosion took out the science team, leaving a position vacant on the Hail Mary expedition. And I think we all know where this is going. Credit where it's due, Grace has the intelligence to state what any logical person watching this would say.
I'm not an astronaut. I put the not in astronaut.
Yeah, Dodoy.
I don't have any training.
He is fundamentally unqualified for the mission. There's absolutely nothing in his background that would suggest he's capable of doing anything he's done in this movie. Well, almost anything. But this is dismissed with a single, insultingly simplistic sentence.
I cannot do this.
You're smart. You'll figure it out.
Back on the Hail Mary, Grace awakes to find that he has been patched up by the ship's AI robot arm thingamabob. He follows a trail to find his friend. Rocky made it back to the safety of his enclosure within the ship, but he's barely moving. Before collapsing, he left Grace a message: save Earth, save Arid. So the molecular biologist gets to work. And through the magic of montages, Grace discovers the bacterial predator that's going to save the world. The worlds. Multiple worlds. The Taumiba. After a whole lot of waiting, here let me just speed this up a bit. After a whole lot of waiting, Rocky wakes up and is as good as new. They hug it out again and Grace shares the good news. The boys celebrate their victory and party it up. Rocky gives Grace a tour of his weird ship, which triggers a final flashback. Grace rejects Strat's request to— oh my fucking god, could I have written a worse script? Grace rejects Strat's request— yeah, we're gonna do this one word at a time. Grace rejects Strat's request to join the Hail Mary mission to Tau Ceti.
I'm sorry, but you just can't talk me into it.
But Strat, knowing that Grace's self-preservation might be too strong to overcome with guilt or duty, prepared for his refusal ahead of time.
I'm not trying to talk you into anything.
She doesn't have time to mess around and lets him know that he's going to be on the mission whether he likes it or not.
Mission plan will state that we induced your coma early to maximize your safety. You will be remembered as a hero.
This is
I
crazy.
have to do it.
You're not... Come on.
So he bolts, but doesn't make it very far. Grace is sedated and put into an induced coma. The rest is history, or the future. You get what I'm trying to say. Grace and Rocky say their goodbyes.
How do you say goodbye back home?
We don't. We do this.
They prepare to head back to their respective homeworlds with their Taumiba predator cure stuffs. A bit of dancing, a wave goodbye, and off they go. But something's not right. There's a leak. The Taumiba evolved to escape the xenonite containers they were used to— oh my god. Okay, you know what? It really doesn't matter. All you need to know is that Grace has figured out that Rocky's entire ship is compromised. If Grace doesn't go back to save his friend, Rocky will never make it home. His ship will fail and he will die. Grace does some calculations and concludes that he has two options. He can go home and save billions of people, or he can save the rock spider he just met. Easy call, right? I mean, fuck those assholes back home. Rock monster all the way. I'm not even being sarcastic. If I was in Grace's shoes, I'd do the same goddamn thing.
Hey, you know...
Send me off to die in space against my will? You fucking crazy? Screw you, Earth. Adios for— oh, wait, hold on a second. I've got a clip for this.
Adios. Forever.
Grace does at least send a probe back to Earth with his Taumiba predators and a detailed log to explain everything. It should be enough to save everyone who's still alive back home. And then cue the umpteenth montage so that Grace can find his way back to Rocky without explaining anything. Not that anything really needs to be explained, but still, how many montages do we need in one movie?
Tell him.
We don't know.
Grace and Rocky reunite. Back on Earth, a much older Strat receives Grace's package in the nick of time. I guess. I mean, the planet has basically become a giant ice ball. But I suppose the idea here is that they kill the astrophage and the sun eventually warms the planet again and everything is hunky-dory.
Hopefully it all makes sense. And if not, you're smart. You'll figure it out.
As for Grace, he's living with Rocky and the Iridians on planet Arid. The Iridians have created a biodome for Grace to live in while they prepare his ship for a return journey to Earth. But the exiled scientist is in no rush to get back.
Who can tell me the speed of light?
He's got a class of rock monsters to teach.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Makes sense.
The end. First off, let me just say that I like Project Hail Mary. I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I feel like I need to say this because there are some morons out there who think that if you're critical of something, it must mean you don't like it. To some smooth-brained losers, having anything negative to say about something is a personal attack. A personal attack so outrageous they feel compelled to launch into a vitriolic counterattack to defend their honor.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
They are the Greta Thunbergs of media. How dare you? How very dare you? If you're one of those people, just chill the fuck out. I liked the movie.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sentimental.
The key word there is liked. I liked the movie. I didn't love it. I love certain aspects of it, absolutely. But on the whole, I wasn't as blown away as some folks. I think the cinematography was beautiful. The audio design, the score, the soundtrack, the general audio mix, was very impressive. The practical sets and puppetry were refreshing and commendable. From a technical point of view, there is a lot to love here. Hell, it's probably worth watching the movie for these aspects alone. And the relationship between Ryan Gosling's Grace and the Iridian rock spider, Rocky, was surprisingly touching and believable. However, the movie is also bloated with a runtime that's about 30 minutes too long, it's ever so slightly derivative, and tonally inconsistent. I'm specifically talking about the ending, the Disney-esque classroom of Iridian children. It's a forced bookend that makes sense structurally but breaks the immersion of the film. At least for me it did. It's part of a conclusion that makes sense thematically, but nevertheless feels weak and corny as shit. I think if I had gone into this movie with the expectation that it's more or less a Disney family movie released by Amazon MGM, I would have had less of a problem with it. But I went into this one after hearing how it was this amazing hard sci-fi story, and it is anything but.
Oh my god, I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Sure, we've got some grounded science here and there, but fiercely logical this movie is not. I mean, the protagonist is, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off by saying it, but the protagonist is a Gary Stu. Sorry, he is. If you're willing to call it out when it's a woman, but not when it's a man, you're just a hypocrite. And before you hop into the comments with your excuse me, I have something to say about that Cro-Mag meltdown, please understand that I'm right and you're wrong. Nana nana boo boo, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
Everybody got that?
I saw Project Hail Mary in the theater when it first came out, and my opinion on it hasn't changed much. If anything, I liked it a little bit more after my first viewing than I did while making this video. But I get why people have been going gaga over it. It's heartwarming and emotional, it's beautiful to look at, it sounds great, it's got all of the things needed to form an emotional connection with its audience. And I think that moviegoers are starving, absolutely desperate for a half-decent movie. I think the main reason this movie did so well is the mix of with a return to classic movie-making ingenuity. And unlike most movies from the past decade, Project Hail Mary actually had a decent marketing campaign. Amazon knew it had something that could make some money, and in an uncharacteristically intelligent move, decided to actually get behind it. For a very brief moment, there was a shared culture surrounding a film that we haven't seen in at least a half a decade. All that being said, I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 9. Fuck it. I'll bump it up to 7 if you promise not to whine about it. It's a good movie. I would definitely recommend it, but I am not blowing smoke up anyone's ass trying to convince them that it's...
I'm not from Hollywood. I'm not going to fuck your mouth, and my time is extremely valuable.
Now, it's definitely one of the best movies Amazon has ever been involved with. I'll say that much. So, take that for whatever it's worth.
When I raise my fist like that, I'm done!
Yes.
That is the crescendo!
As the Iridians say,